Project 2025 is not what you think it is. So, Project 2025 has been popping up all over the internet. And at first, people notified me in chats in my live stream about Project 2025 and be aware and wait till this happens. And so I'm like, all right, it's in the prepper community. It's got to be something decent to look at. But before I started looking into it, I started noticing that the left has been ranting and raving about it. And the people who are ranting and raving about it, I was like, I said, the prepper community and the left is complaining about it, something's up. So, of course, I dive into it. Now, there was a subscriber who watches myself and Pinball, and he sent us both an email about Project 2025 and how we need to be aware of what's going on and all this stuff. So I'm looking at it, and in the email, he states that he doesn't agree with my political stance. That was another red flag. So now I have to dive in. I'm like, wait a minute, here we go. So I start diving in. I start noticing that the left, liberals, morons of the world, are over-embellishing what's in Project 2025. Now, of course, guys, again, reading upon this, I had to look at the manual itself. And the name of the manual is Mandate for Leadership, The Conservative Promise 2025. That's all it is. And it's a roadmap in building America and building America, I guess, great again, or putting us back on path to where we used to be, somewhat. Now, there is a problem with 2025. I'm going to get into that in a little bit, because this is where I saw the red flaggy thought process. And then when people were saying certain things, I was like, okay, this is where they get it from. So, of course, when you go to project2025.org, I think that's the website, there's a couple of strong wording in there, and like absolute strong wording. So when people who oppose the right look at it, all they see is that totalitarianism thought process, which in fact it's not. You have to read a little further. Just on the website, the front page itself, you read along that paragraph and you're like, okay, I get it now. And it's rebuilding of America. It's a roadmap, and it's a roadmap for whoever gets into office. Not so much just for conservative, though it does say that. Later on, it just says anyone who gets into office, whether it's him or her. It's a roadmap to bring it back to where we used to be for the most part. So now, of course, guys, as I look at the left and their comments and CNN and all of those left-leaning media companies, I'm like, So now, of course, I have to start Googling a lot of the comments that they're making, because they're saying that it's the end of America and that it's complete control of the government, when the government, or this roadmap, wants to give the power back to the people. They stated numerous times in this manual. Now, this manual, if you will, or roadmap, is 922 pages long. So it's a lot of reading. So there was a lot of jumping around I did to read and make sure that I understood what I was reading, and to make sure I understood that the left is still stupid, because I wanted to make that clear when I was looking through this. All right, I said, they're stupid people. They don't understand anything. They constantly read blips and blurbs and then rush to throw it on social media. And we do it too. The right and conservatives, we do it too. So no one's innocent in that realm. But when the left do it, they get carried away. So I'm looking at it and I'm like, all right, they want to give power back to the people in all aspects. Though, yes, the President of the United States has absolute power. They want the people, they want the president to serve the people. And that's the basis of the whole thing. And they break down how. That's why it's 922 pages long. Now, I'm still going to do a lot of reading even after this video, because I'm probably going to point out some of the good parts. But in the first opening statements of every chapter, it states about how they want to give that power back to the people. So that's a good thing. Now, of course, with the left, the lunatics that they are, they have a meme going around, or a post going around, where they talk about how they want to put church back in school and that's a bad thing, which I think it's a good thing. They want to get rid of the LGBT community. And that's one of the bullet points in that post that's circulating. They want to get rid of the LGBT. Nowhere in there does it say that. Like, nowhere. They want to dial down the LGBT teaching in schools, but they don't want to get rid of the gay community. I'm like, that. And again, that's the left and their bullshit. That the government wants total control. Again, when you look at the heavy wording, at first I was like, whoa, what is this? But when you read down further, you start noticing that they want to give the power back to the people and make sure that the president's power is obtained from the people. And just the way they worded it, you're like, that's kind of weird wording it that way. Just say that you want to give the power back to the people. But of course, these elites in their wording, they got to be all fancy and shit. But whatever. If you know how to read, you read this, you're like, okay, this is what it is. So too many people are up in arms over something that is nothing and something that's going to get America back on course. I didn't even get to the foreign relationship part because there's a couple of chapters on that, but I'm pretty sure I know the direction they're leaning in. But they want America to come back to being America again. That's all it is. It's not the end of the world. It's not throwing us in jail. I saw an article, I didn't read it, but I saw the title and I was annoyed. And it was Biden or Harris, anybody other than Trump, we have to stop Project 2025, something along that lines. And I'm like, what? That's not even his baby. That's not even his thing. But somehow it became Trump's thing because now Project 2025 is being attached to Trump and that this is a totalitarianism takeover of the American people. And that's how the left is pushing it. So now they're getting so desperate, they're attaching something to Trump that Trump knows nothing about. Now, obviously he knows about it now, but initially he didn't know anything about it. But a lot of it is in line with what Trump wants to do with America. So that's why a lot of people think it's his thing, but it's not. It's Trump looking to give the power back to the people, which he has always said. Now, yes, Trump has said some very hairy things in the past, and he's starting to say some hairy shit now, is why I don't trust the man going in this time around, because I think, like I said before, we're going to see a very different dude. He made the eminent domain comment, which I just learned about yesterday. He made an eminent domain comment 4 years ago or a few years back, and I was just like, when I learned about it, I was like, all right, that's weird. Taking land from people's bullshit. That's a different subject altogether. But he has said questionable shit. But here's the rub, guys. It doesn't matter who you vote for or who we vote for or who's running. We're always going to find an issue with somebody. We have to deal with the bullshit that comes with all of them. So you're not going to find, guys, a squeaky clean candidate. You're just not. We don't live in a fantasy world. A lot of you people live in a fantasy world. But with politicians, I run the 3-strike rule. Trump is on strike 2. His 3rd strike, and I will not be voting for him come November. That's me. But to look at the bigger picture, guys, there is not one politician out there that's not going to say something you don't like. It's called life. It's like looking at me on YouTube, The Angry Prepper. There's a ton of shit I say that you guys don't like. Some of you guys deal with it, and some of you guys unsubscribe. That's called the world we live in, guys. That's it. You can't agree with everyone. And you can't agree with Trump, Biden, Harris, Michelle Obama, Mr. Obama, the gay one, Barack, right? You can't agree with them on everything. It's impossible. It just doesn't work that way. The world doesn't work that way. So, fortunately, a lot of us have to grow up. But my 3-strike rule is that Trump has already said a couple of things that is red flaggy in the past, and he's saying some more red flaggy shit now, and I'm paying close attention to what he's saying and how he's saying it, because I think, like I said before, we're going to get a different dude in office, and we might not like what we see when he gets in there. If he follows Project 2025, and they stated that you don't have to follow it to a T, but that this is a roadmap to pick and choose from kind of deal. And that's for anybody who ends up in office. That could be Biden, that could be Trump. Doesn't matter. It's a roadmap to getting America back on track. That's all it is. Anyway, guys, this is The Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching the Angry Truth channel.